What if the past you thought was gone suddenly walked back into your life? As whispers of a shocking return swirl around Heartland Season 19, fans are holding their breath because this might be the most emotional season yet. Something is coming, and it could change everything for Amy Fleming and the Heartland family. Heartland has always been more than a family drama. It's about healing. It's about love, loss, and finding strength in the most unexpected places. And as we head into Season 19, that emotional core is more alive than ever. At the center of it all is Amy Fleming, strong, compassionate, and still navigating the deep scars left by Ty's tragic death. Season 18 gave us quiet moments of growth. Amy working with troubled horses, Amy spending time with her daughter Lindy, Amy trying to find peace. But for many longtime viewers, it wasn't enough. Her journey felt like it was standing still. People are craving movement. Real, visible transformation. That's why Season 19 feels so important. It's not just another chapter. It's the season that could finally answer the question fans have been asking for years. What's next for Amy? The silence left by Ty Borden still echoes through every episode. His memory isn't just a part of the past, it's shaping the future. And now rumors are picking up speed. Some say Graham Wardle, who played Ty, may be returning. Not permanently, not in a straightforward way, but maybe, just maybe, through dreams, flashbacks, or even a deeply emotional twist that no one saw coming. It's only speculation for now, but where there's smoke, Heartland fans know, there's often fire. This idea alone has sparked a wildfire across social media. Every interview clip, every cryptic behind-the-scenes post, every moment of Amber Marshall talking about Amy's emotional journey, fans are dissecting it all. They're not just watching for drama, they're searching for closure, for healing, for a moment where Amy finally lets go or holds on in a way that helps her move forward. At the same time, another storyline is quietly rising in importance. Amy's connection with Nathan. He's calm, he's stable, he's not trying to replace Ty, but he's there. And some fans are starting to believe he might be the kind of person who could offer Amy something she hasn't felt in years, a future. But it's not that simple, because Ty's shadow still hangs heavy over everything. And if he does return, even for one episode, everything could change in a heartbeat. Heartland has never been about shock value. It's about emotional truth. So whatever happens next, whether it's Amy finding new love or finally facing the full depth of her grief, it will be powerful, and it will be real. Season 19 isn't just about moving on. It's about becoming whole again. And for Amy, that journey is only just beginning. As Season 19 draws near, the energy around Heartland is electric. And not just because of what we hope to see. It's because of what we feel. For over a decade, this series has told stories not just of horses and family, but of healing in all its forms. And now, there's a quiet sense that a turning point is coming. One that could bring closure to some of Heartland's longest-running emotional threads, while opening the door to a new kind of future. Let's start with Amy. After all, she's always been the soul of the story. Since Ty's death in Season 14, we've watched her carry not only her own grief, but the weight of the entire Heartland legacy. Her daughter Lindy, her horses, the ranch, and the people around her have all depended on Amy's strength. And yet, beneath that strength, we've seen flickers of something else. Fatigue, vulnerability, even loneliness. Not dramatic, not over the top, but subtle, real, human. Season 18 hinted at her trying to rediscover her joy. Season 19 could finally show us what it means for Amy to rebuild a life, not just survive one. This brings us to one of the most talked about dynamics of the new season. Amy and Nathan. Introduced more prominently in recent seasons, Nathan has been a calming presence, offering support without expectation. He's been respectful of Amy's boundaries. And unlike past love interests in other shows, he hasn't tried to rush anything. That's why his presence feels real, like something that could happen in life, not just on television. And yet fans are still divided. Some want Amy to find love again. Others believe Ty was and always will be her one and only. But what if the show doesn't ask her to choose one or the other? What if it challenges her to face both? the possibility of Tai returning, even in a dream, a memory, or a symbolic scene, could be exactly what Amy needs to let go of guilt and finally accept the future. Not to forget Tai, but to carry his memory into something new. That kind of emotional arc would resonate deeply with the audience. After all, how many people watching Heartland have lost someone? How many are still healing? Amy's story is more than fiction. It's a reflection. At the same time, the tension between memory and reality is what could make season 19 unforgettable. Imagine this. Amy begins to move forward, to explore what life could look like now. And just as she starts to find peace, boom, a dream, a vision, a voice from the past. Tai's presence suddenly feels close. And even if it's not literal, if it's just emotional, it's enough to shake her to her core. That's the kind of storytelling that Heartland excels at. Quiet, powerful, deep. But Amy isn't the only character at a crossroads. Lou Fleming is also stepping into new territory, and fans have made their voices clear. They're ready for a change. Lou has spent season after season caught in romantic circles. Peter, Mitch, back to Peter again. While those relationships had depth, many fans feel it's time for Lou's story to evolve. Not through another love triangle, but through leadership and personal growth. She's a mother, a mayor, a woman with responsibilities that go far beyond romance. Season 19 has a real opportunity here to show Lou focusing on her career, her daughters, and her own self-worth. If the writers lean into this direction, Lou's arc could shift from frustrating to empowering. Another character to watch closely is Lindy. Amy's daughter is growing up, and her presence in the show is becoming more meaningful. She represents the future of Heartland, literally and emotionally. The way Amy parents her, the way Lindy interacts with horses, and even the small moments where she reminds us of Tai, it all adds up. Many fans are hoping for more Lindy-centered moments in season 19, not just for cuteness or nostalgia, but because her bond with Amy could be a source of deep healing. The scenes between them could be where Amy finds strength to let go of the past and step into her new role, not just as a horse whisperer, but as a mother raising the next generation of Heartland. And let's not forget Jack and Lisa. These two veterans of the Heartland world have always brought wisdom, stability, and heart to the series. Jack, in particular, has been the backbone of the ranch, and his relationship with Amy remains one of the most heartfelt parts of the show. In season 19, their connection could become even more important, especially if Amy starts facing major decisions. Jack's advice, his quiet presence, his belief in her, could be the thing that keeps her grounded when everything else feels uncertain. Then there's the question of what really happened behind the scenes. Graham Wardle left the show in season 14 to explore personal growth and creative projects, but over the past year something shifted. Interviews got more cryptic. Social media posts became vague but intriguing. Fans began connecting the dots. Could he be coming back? Not for a full season, but maybe for a pivotal moment? Even a single scene with Tai could reshape everything. The idea of Tai appearing, whether in Amy's dreams or as part of a flashback or alternate memory, could provide closure that fans have been waiting for. And if it's handled with care, it could also be the emotional catalyst Amy needs to truly move on. Not away from Tai, but toward a new chapter. One thing is clear. Heartland Season 19 is not just about new plots or surprise appearances. It's about emotional resolution. It's about asking the hard questions. Can you love again after great loss? Can you move forward without forgetting? Can healing be messy and still be beautiful? The Heartland universe has always been filled with beauty, wide open fields, the sound of hooves on dirt, the quiet strength of the horses. But at its heart, it's a human story. And in season 19, those human moments, those tears, choices, and new beginnings will take center stage. Fans aren't just watching to see who kisses who, they're watching to feel something, to cry, to hope, to remember their own losses and believe, even if just for a few minutes, that life can go on. That pain doesn't erase love. That grief and joy can live in the same breath. That the past is always with us, but the future is still ours to shape. For many fans, Ty Borden wasn't just a character. He was the emotional heartbeat of Heartland. When he died at the beginning of season 14, the shock was immediate. The loss felt personal. It wasn't just Amy who was grieving. It was all of us. Some fans stopped watching, others pushed through, holding on to the belief that Amy's story still mattered. And now, just when we've started to accept Ty's absence, there's a buzz in the air, a whisper, a hope. Could he be coming back? Let's be clear. Graham Wardle left the show by choice. He wanted to grow, to explore new projects, to discover himself beyond the world of Heartland, and that's something to respect. But the way he left the door slightly open, the way he never fully said never again, that's what's fueling the fire now. In interviews, he's spoken carefully, thoughtfully, never denying his love for the show, never fully ruling out a return. And recently, things have shifted. His social media presence has become noticeably mysterious. Pictures with horses, cryptic captions, a visit to the Heartland filming location, supposedly just to say hello, but fans aren't buying that it was just a friendly visit. The timing is too perfect. The silence from the producers too loud. Something's happening behind the scenes. And it's starting to look like season 19 might be the moment we all dared to hope for. But what would it actually mean for Ty to return? Let's imagine the possibilities. Maybe he's not alive in the traditional sense. After all, this isn't a fantasy show, but Heartland has always had a deep emotional and spiritual layer. Think about the dream sequences we've seen in past seasons. Think about those quiet, almost mystical moments where memory and reality blur. A single scene with Ty, appearing in Amy's dream or during a moment of reflection, could be more powerful than 100 pages of dialogue. It could be the closure Amy never got, and maybe the closure the audience never got either. Imagine this. Amy is standing in the barn. It's quiet. The light is soft. She closes her eyes. And there he is. Ty. Not saying much. Maybe nothing at all, but just standing there, looking at her. Maybe smiling. Maybe nodding. Maybe reminding her without words that it's okay to move forward, that love doesn't die when a person does, that it's okay to feel joy again. Moments like that don't need special effects or dramatic music. They need truth. And if Heartland is anything, it's truthful. Of course, nothing is confirmed. The producers have been careful. The cast has been even more careful. But when a show starts dropping hints this intentionally, it's usually not by accident. Even if Ty appears for just a few seconds, it could be the most talked about scene in the show's history. Not because it's flashy, but because it matters. Because it brings Amy and the audience full circle. And this wouldn't be the first time a show brought back a beloved character for a final goodbye. Other long-running series have used dream sequences or flashbacks to honor characters and to give fans a chance to feel something one last time. It's not about undoing the past, it's about honoring it. And that's something Heartland understands deeply. But Ty's possible return is only part of the emotional storm heading our way. Because if he does come back, even briefly, it forces Amy to confront her entire journey since his death. Every moment of silence, every tear, every attempt to move forward. What happens to those feelings when you see the person you lost, even if it's only in your mind? That's the emotional tension that could define season 19. And it wouldn't just affect Amy. Lindy, too, is starting to ask questions about her father, about who he was, about why he isn't there. A scene between Amy and Lindy, where Amy tries to explain her grief, her love, and her hopes for the future, could be one of the most powerful moments in the entire series. Because Lindy isn't just a child in the background anymore, she's a symbol of everything Amy and Ty created together. And now, she's growing into her own story. If the writers lean into this, we could see a beautiful emotional arc. Amy helping Lindy understand her father, while also allowing herself to finally heal. It wouldn't be easy. Nothing about grief is. But Heartland has always been about facing hard truths with an open heart. And in season 19, that heart is beating louder than ever. Now, let's talk about the audience, the fans. The people who've stuck with Heartland for almost 2 decades. They're not just waiting for a plot twist. They're waiting for meaning. They want to feel. And Ty's return, no matter how brief, could give them exactly that. A reminder that even in loss, there's love. Even in absence, there's presence. And even in goodbye, there's a kind of peace. So, is Ty really coming back? We don't know for sure. But one thing is clear. Something big is coming. And whether it's a flashback, a dream, or something completely unexpected, the emotional weight of that moment could redefine everything we thought we knew about Amy's story. Heartland Season 19 isn't about forgetting the past. It's about finding the strength to live with it and to build something beautiful in its shadow. And if Ty is part of that journey, even for a heartbeat, it might just be the most unforgettable moment in Heartland history. As emotions run high and theories swirl through the Heartland fandom, one big question remains unanswered. When will Season 19 finally arrive? And what secrets will it reveal in the very first episode? For longtime viewers, the release of a Heartland trailer isn't just a teaser, it's an event. It's that one moment where everything we've been wondering, hoping, and fearing is suddenly real. A 2-minute clip can spark hundreds of conversations. A single line of dialogue can launch 1,000 theories. And this time, with rumors of Ty's return, Amy's emotional crossroads, and the evolving family dynamics, fans are more alert than ever. Everyone is watching, waiting, refreshing their screens, because the moment the trailer drops, the countdown truly begins. Now, let's talk about what we know. Based on Heartland's consistent filming and release schedule over the years, there's a strong pattern that suggests Season 19 will premiere in summer 2025. That's right. New episodes are likely just a few months away. And if the series follows its usual timeline, we can expect the official trailer to arrive sometime in spring 2025, most likely between late April and early June. That means the first real clues about what's to come are just around the corner. Behind the scenes, several cast members have already dropped hints that filming is either underway or about to begin. Amber Marshall has been seen spending time around the ranch set. Crew members have posted vague updates, often avoiding direct confirmation, but leaving just enough to stir curiosity. And those cryptic posts from Graham Wardle? They haven't gone unnoticed. Everything points to something big happening this season. Something that the trailer will either confirm or cleverly hide. Because let's be honest, Heartland trailers don't always give everything away. They tease, they hint, they build mood and tension without spelling it all out. And that's exactly why they're so effective. You'll get a quick shot of Amy looking out over the field, a close-up of Lindy brushing a horse, maybe a single breathless moment where Amy pauses, her eyes wide, like she's seeing someone she thought she never would again. That's all it would take for the internet to explode. The trailer for Season 19 could hold subtle hints toward Ty's potential appearance. It might also give us a first look at new or returning characters, emotional scenes between Amy and Nathan, or the beginning of Lou's next chapter. But make no mistake, the emotional weight will be heavy, and fans will be analyzing every second of footage, frame by frame. And what about Episode 1? If Heartland stays true to its storytelling style, the season opener won't rush. It will breathe. It will take its time. We'll likely start with Amy in a familiar setting. Maybe the barn, maybe the fields, maybe at home with Lindy. But there'll be something different in the air. A shift, a quiet tension. The kind of tension that tells the audience, this isn't just another season. This is the start of something new. Episode 1 is expected to set the tone for the entire season, and that means it has to strike a delicate balance. On one hand, it has to honor everything that came before: Ty's death, Amy's grief, the strength of the family through heartbreak. On the other hand, it needs to look forward, to give Amy and all of us watching a reason to believe in the future again. We may see Amy begin to take on a new challenge, professionally or personally. Perhaps she's opening a new horse program, maybe she's considering a big decision involving Lindy's future, or maybe, just maybe, she's dealing with an emotional ripple effect from a dream, a memory, or a moment that feels too real to ignore. The first episode could also reintroduce the core family dynamics. Lou may be navigating a new chapter in her role as mayor, or facing a critical moment with her kids. Tim might be stepping into a bigger role on the ranch, and Jack, ever the wise presence, could be the one who notices the changes in Amy before anyone else does. He might be the one who senses she's on the edge of a major transformation, whether it's letting go, moving on, or opening her heart again. And there's more. Fans are also wondering if we'll see the beginnings of deeper conflicts, not in a dramatic or soap opera way, but in the slow, emotional burn that Heartland does so well. Will Lindy ask hard questions about her father? Will Amy struggle with guilt for finding happiness again? Will Nathan finally express how he feels, forcing Amy to make a choice she's not ready for? All of these questions point toward a season that isn't just about moving forward, it's about choosing to. And that's a much harder road. In the trailer, and especially in episode 1, we'll likely get our first glimpse at what kind of season this will truly be. Will it be one of new beginnings, of rediscovering joy, or of facing the ghosts of the past one step at a time? Whichever path the writers take, one thing is certain: fans will be right there for the journey, watching, feeling, hoping. Because for all the big moments Heartland has given us, it's the quiet ones, the long looks, the emotional pauses, the whispered conversations that leave the deepest marks. Season 19, and especially its premiere, promises to deliver those moments in full force. And so we wait. For the trailer, for the release date, for the next chapter. And maybe, just maybe, for a glimpse of Ty, standing quietly in the memory of love that never really left.